I knew it was going to be bad, but oh my god. What the actual Alright guys, so the patch notes for Path of Exile 2's newest update, the Dawn of the Hunt, just dropped last night, and oh boy, did we get some juicy changes. A lot of things are going to be completely different, and some things are essentially going to be straight up non-existent in this new patch. In this video, I'm going to highlight some notable things that have completely changed or, in some cases, have been completely removed, such as certain items, skills, and gameplay mechanics that we've grown accustomed to. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing to hit the chopping block was Grim Feast. I expected a complete rework of Grim Feast for 0.2 as it was just way too powerful, but GGG has completely removed it instead. They stated that they plan on reworking it in the future, but for now, Energy Shield builds will definitely be way less powerful in Dawn of the Hunt for the time being. The next thing that has completely changed are map attempts. Endgame players rejoice. Say goodbye to dying and losing your map. Players will now have up to 6 portals per map depending on the rarity of your Waystone, going up to only 1 attempt on the super juiced yellow rare Waystones. This also applies to all party members as well, so you can revive each other and keep on playing, which is a huge W for the co-op gamers out there. Next up, we have the removal of XP loss on Pinnacle bosses. Players will now not lose XP when fighting Pinnacle bosses, which is something that I'm very happy to say goodbye to. It was really annoying only taking on Pinnacle bosses after leveling up and feeling like it wasn't worth risking your hard-earned XP, especially at higher levels. These bosses won't grant any XP either, but let's be real, nobody was killing them for XP anyway. Say goodbye to clearing entire screens with Herald skills. GGG has changed Herald skills to not be able to trigger off monsters who have been killed by Herald effects. This will greatly reduce the screen clearing ability that they once had. Next up on the chopping block is Tempest Bell. Tempest Bell is arguably one of the strongest level 3 skill gems in the game, and it just got absolutely gutted in patch 0.20. It now requires 10 hits instead of 4, and will always disappear after being hit 10 times. And you're also not able to use multiple copies of the same skill gem, as they now share a cooldown. As someone who used Tempest Bell during the races as a monk, this change feels a bit rough, but I can't say that I didn't see this sort of thing coming. Hammer of the Gods also got some significant changes here. This skill no longer has a cooldown, which allows for it to be cast multiple times. It's actually been changed to a resource cost, with a new resource being introduced called Glory. This new resource is earned by applying heavy stun to enemies, and I'm excited to see how new builds come together that prioritize stun followed by multiple Hammer of the Gods. The improved quality effect on this skill gem has now been changed to AoE radius instead of cooldown reduction time to complement this change. Wind Dancer also got hit with the nerf hammer pretty hard here. A few notable changes to Wind Dancer are that it now grants less evasion per stage, going down to 10% from 15 to 19%, and the extra stage that was gained from quality improvement is being replaced with an increase to the explosion radius. There is a significant change to endgame Waystones coming in this next patch. One of the most annoying parts of the endgame was trying to sustain your higher tier Waystones as you progress throughout the endgame in Path of Exile 2. Running tier 15 maps only to have monsters drop level 2 Waystones felt incredibly bad. In patch 0.2, Waystones will only drop the same tier as the tier of Waystone you're currently in, with bosses having a guaranteed drop of a higher level Waystone as well. Ingenuity, arguably the best belt in the game, received some absolutely huge nerfs. The Ingenuity unique belt no longer has 40 to 80% increased bonuses from equipped rings. Instead, it now has 20 to 30% increased bonus from equipped rings in the left hand and in the right hand. And it now also has the chance to drop with 1 or 2 charm slots, which can roll with increased charges gained and reduced charm charges used. This is quite a considerable nerf here, and it feels like you'll only really be using this belt if you can get your hands on an incredibly good roll. This is going to be extremely rare, as there are a lot more variables to run through the slot machine. Next up on the chopping block is the unique shield Oaksworn. Oaksworn is an amazing low-level shield for witches and has now had their plus 50 spirit implicit roll removed and has been replaced with a 50% increased life regeneration instead. This essentially takes this shield out of the current meta, which will heavily limit the amount of spirit that certain classes can get at a low level. Morior Invictus, a very common unique body armor that drops from the Arbiter of Ash, has had quite a few changes to it. Instead of rolling with 2 random modifiers, it will now roll with 3, but the caveat is that a lot of the really good modifiers have been removed. Say goodbye to percent increase to rarity, max mana, life, and attributes. These have been replaced with significantly worse modifiers, but there are 7 new random per socket soul core modifiers to look for. We will have to wait and see here, but it looks like they are incentivizing Arbiter of Ash more so that players can discover the many combinations that can be found on this body armor. The soul core of Azcapa, the most valuable soul core, has been completely replaced in this new patch. It's been swapped from 10% increased rarity to 5% more gold dropping from monsters, which essentially makes it garbage unless gold becomes way more valuable.
I love gold!
In the Dawn of the Hunt update, we'll be losing 12 jewel sockets in the reworked passive tree. Jewels were incredibly strong in patch 0.10, and it's no surprise here that GGG is reducing the amount of jewels that players will be using throughout their builds moving forward. This final change is going to affect the speedrunning community the most. The magic monster pack that spawns at the end of the Dreadnought will now no longer respawn if you load to checkpoint. This was a very important EXP and item farming spot for speedruns, and will drastically change the way that speedrunners approach gearing up for Act 3 and playing through Act 2. Alright guys, so these are some of the biggest changes that I wanted to highlight in the Dawn of the Hunt update. There is an insane amount of reconfiguration that GGG has done here, and you can find a link to the entire patch notes in the video's description. It feels like GGG has taken a good hard look at a lot of the potentially too powerful aspects of certain builds and items, and has toned down or completely removed them for this patch. I'm excited to see what really shines through all of these changes this season, and I look forward to seeing some of you in Rayclast. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like and subscribe for more PoE2 content. Happy blasting, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.